Detective Daniel Cole stood at the crime scene, staring at the body sprawled across the mahogany floor. Blood pooled around the head of Howard Graves, the town's most reclusive millionaire. A deep wound split his skull, a brutal, deliberate strike. No sign of forced entry. The man had let his killer in. Daniel sighed, rubbing his temples. This was supposed to be his last case before retirement. A quiet farewell. Instead, he was here, in the dead of night, solving a murder that had already captured the town's attention. His partner, Officer Lisa Beck, handed him a folder. Got something. Witness saw a guy arguing with Graves last night outside his gate. Fits the description of a drifter who's been hanging around town. Name's Jack Calloway. Violent record. Assault charges. He disappeared this morning. Too convenient, Daniel muttered. Lisa shrugged. Gotta start somewhere. By morning, they had Jack Calloway in custody. His fingerprints were at the scene. A bloody shirt was found in his motel room. When they questioned him, his hands shook, his voice cracked. But he swore, I didn't do it. I don't even remember being there. The case wrapped up fast. Too fast. But the evidence didn't lie. 2 weeks later, Daniel stood in the courtroom, watching Jack Calloway take the fall. It was an open and shut case. The town cheered. Justice had been served. That night, Daniel had a drink to celebrate his last case. And then, everything went black. Daniel woke up to the steady beeping of a heart monitor. White hospital walls. The sharp scent of antiseptic. His head throbbed. Lisa was by his side. Relief washed over her face when he stirred. Jesus, you scared me. He groaned, trying to sit up. What happened? You were in an accident, she said. A hit and run. We found you unconscious on the side of the road 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks? His last memory was celebrating after closing the Graves case. How bad was it? Concussion. A few broken ribs. But you're lucky. Daniel's pulse pounded. Something felt wrong. What about the Graves case? He asked. Lisa frowned. Who? He stiffened. Howard Graves. The murder. We arrested Jack Calloway. Lisa stared at him like he'd lost his mind. Daniel, no murder happened. Howard Graves is alive. His breath caught. That's impossible. I saw the body. We had evidence. The trial. Lisa placed a hand on his arm. Howard Graves is alive and well. No crime. No case. No Jack Calloway. Daniel's world tilted. He wasn't crazy. He remembered everything. The crime scene, the blood, the fingerprints, the interrogation. But if no murder had happened, where had those memories come from? Daniel left the hospital a day later. He had no answers, just a gnawing fear that reality had slipped through his fingers. The first thing he did was drive to Howard Graves' estate. It was exactly as he remembered, right down to the heavy iron gates. But when the door opened, he was face to face with the man he knew had been murdered. Howard Graves blinked at him. Detective Cole? Daniel swallowed hard. You're alive. Graves frowned. Shouldn't I be? Daniel stepped back, his head spinning. You don't remember anything strange? No threats? No drifters? Not at all. Daniel drove to the station next. Searched for records of Jack Calloway. There were none. It was like the case had been erased from existence. But how could that be? That night, he couldn't sleep. He kept seeing Jack Calloway's terrified face, the blood on the floor. The memories were so real. Then, just past midnight, a news alert lit up his phone. Breaking. Local millionaire Howard Graves found dead in his home. Daniel's blood ran cold. The crime had happened, just 2 weeks later than he remembered. And now, he had to figure out how he knew about it before it happened. As Daniel dug deeper, strange things surfaced. He found medical records showing he had been unconscious for 3 weeks, not 2. A visit from an unknown doctor while he was in a coma. Gaps in his memory. Then, a name appeared. Dr. Elias Ward. Daniel tracked him down, a neuroscientist specializing in predictive cognition. You were part of an experiment, Dr. Ward admitted when Daniel confronted him. A program designed to implant future memories. To see if we could predict crime before it happened. Daniel's stomach turned. You put that murder in my head. We didn't create it, Ward said carefully. We accessed something already forming. The crime was going to happen. You just lived through it before it did. The horror settled in. His memories weren't lies. They were a preview of reality. But then Ward hesitated. There's one problem, he admitted. Daniel stiffened. What? You weren't supposed to remember. Daniel was a failed subject. His mind had held on to the implanted memory when it should have erased itself after the crime happened. That made him a liability. Someone wanted him silenced. Lisa called him late that night. Daniel, I found something. The original files on your experiment. You need to see this. He rushed to meet her. But when he arrived, Lisa was dead. A bullet between her eyes. His phone buzzed. A blocked number. A distorted voice. Stop digging, Daniel. A shadow moved outside his window. Footsteps. Someone was coming. And that's when Daniel realized. The next crime had already begun. Daniel's breath caught in his throat. The shadow outside his window wasn't moving anymore. It was watching. A figure stood just beyond the glow of the street lamp, motionless, waiting. Then, a single step forward. Daniel ducked instinctively, his heart pounding. He reached for his gun, but it wasn't there. He had turned it in when he retired. His mind raced. He had two choices, run or fight. Lisa was dead. Someone had killed her to bury the truth. And now, they were coming for him. He forced himself to move, slipping out through the back door. He stayed low, heart hammering as he sprinted through the alley. Footsteps followed, measured, deliberate. His pursuer wasn't rushing. They didn't need to. They thought he was already dead. Not yet. Daniel made it to his car, fumbling with the keys. He slid into the driver's seat, locked the doors, and started the engine. Just as he peeled away, a gunshot rang out. His rear window shattered, glass spraying across the back seat. He didn't stop. Not until he reached the only place he had left, Dr. Elias Ward's private research facility. The facility was dark, abandoned for the night. But Daniel had no time for caution. He broke in through the side door, gun drawn. Ward was in his office, alone. When he saw Daniel, his face paled. You need to leave, Ward hissed, shutting his laptop. They're already looking for you. Too late. Daniel locked the door behind him. Tell me everything. Ward hesitated, then exhaled. You weren't the only subject. Daniel's stomach dropped. What? There were others, Ward admitted. Some responded well. Their memories reset, like they were supposed to. But you remembered. And that makes you dangerous. Daniel's hands tightened into fists. Why? Ward hesitated. Because you weren't just given one future memory. Daniel went still. What are you saying? You remember the murder of Howard Graves, Ward said slowly. But there's another crime. One you haven't remembered yet. Daniel's pulse pounded. What crime? Ward swallowed. Your own. The room spun. Daniel felt sick. That's impossible. Ward shook his head. Not impossible. You saw the future. You just haven't caught up to it yet. Daniel's breath came fast. The experiment had shown him Howard Graves' murder before it happened. If it was right again, that meant sometime soon, Daniel Cole was going to kill someone. But who? And why? A memory stirred, something just out of reach. A flash of blood. A gunshot in the dark. A name. Lisa. No. Someone else. And then, it hit him. Jack Calloway. Jack Calloway had been erased from the system. No records, no history. But if the experiment was right, Jack existed, and Daniel was supposed to kill him. But why? There was only one way to find out. Daniel forced Ward into his car. You're taking me to him. Ward didn't fight. He knew there was no way out. They drove for an hour, deep into the woods outside town. Finally, they reached a cabin, isolated, forgotten. Daniel stepped out first, gun drawn. The place was silent. No lights. No movement. Then, the front door creaked open. Jack Calloway stepped out. Alive. And he was expecting Daniel. Jack was thinner than Daniel remembered. His eyes were hollow, his hands shaking. You finally made it, Jack said. Daniel tensed. You know who I am? Jack nodded. I know everything. Ward exhaled shakily. You remember too, don't you? Jack's eyes flicked to him. More than you ever wanted me to. Daniel's mind raced. What is this? What did you do to me? Jack's laugh was bitter. They didn't implant a future memory in you, Cole. They erased one. Daniel froze. What? Jack's gaze was cold. You're not going to kill me. You already did. The world tilted. Jack Calloway was supposed to have been convicted for Howard Graves' murder. But Howard Graves hadn't been killed until 2 weeks later. Daniel had remembered solving the case before it happened. But what if that wasn't all? What if Jack Calloway had been framed? What if Daniel had killed him to keep the truth buried? And what if, 2 weeks ago, Daniel had finally remembered, and someone had wiped his memory to stop him from uncovering it? The hit and run. The erased files. Lisa's death. It had all been to stop Daniel from realizing the truth. He was the last witness. And now, he was the only one left.